God, there is just. Da, 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 da. Let's see if I can go live with you. Yeah, everybody gets to watch us figure this out. It's real fun. Guests, invite, Retro Jenny, send. I have sent you an invitation to join. Hello, Julie Foxwell and Brandon McGill. And I'm definitely not going to be able to say hi to everyone as they come. This is like definitely not used to this on Twitch. This is wow. All right. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Hurricane Ian edition of Retro Recall Podcast. Normally, we would host this podcast, me and my friend Jen, Retro Jenny, who you see in the chat. Normally, we would be hosting this podcast on Twitch. We do it every Thursday night. We took like a little bit of a break because of birthdays and hurricanes and, things happen. So we moved it to my personal TikTok as we get our own podcast TikTok up and running. That being said, up above me, you will see Retro Recall, and then it cut off the T, those bastards. Retro Recall Podcast. That is the name of the TikTok podcast that we're going to be running because we're going to do this simultaneously. That's the idea. So make sure you can follow me if you would like, or follow Retro Recall Podcast. Actually, sorry, wait, let me rephrase that. Do follow Retro Recall Podcast because that will be where we, in the future, will be co-streaming. This is me riffing best I can as my tech-averse millennial friend Jen is trying to figure out how to join as a host, but it's also possible that she will not be able to join at all because she does not have 1,000 followers, which I get, but like feels like it should be overridden when I do. Anybody? No. Anyway, yeah. So as she tries to join me, let me introduce you to what the actual podcast is. Now that you know why the Hurricane Ian edition is happening and why I'm sitting here just rambling as I riff. Ultimately, the idea with Retro Recall Podcast is that we take things that we deem retro. Uh, Typically, I think the rule of thumb we've come up with is about 20 years, but give or take. Essentially, we're taking the time to look back on the things that influenced our childhood. So if you have watched our previous episodes on Twitch or on YouTube, you would have seen we've done episodes about Hook. We've done episodes about we did Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I don't think was technically 20 years, but like either way, you guys probably were fine missing that one. Um, but yeah, so we look back. We did Sega and Nintendo. We look back at these different things, and not so much just talk about the thing itself, because I mean you can find how many podcasts that are actually just talking about like what was a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo. No, we try to talk about it from the angle of how culture wrapped around it. So what I mean by that is like when we talked about the Sega versus Nintendo, we talked a lot about like the ad campaigns that they were running and how Sega was making themselves look versus Nintendo. So for those of you who don't know, just as a quick recap of that, Sega embraced the full MTV culture of like the 90s era. So they went for these in-your-face ads. Like they wanted to make sure that anyone who saw their ad knew that the Sega Genesis was for the cool kid, whereas Super Nintendo really just stuck to their Nintendo power. Nintendo has been pretty consistent in keeping their advertisement pretty mild. So talking about what those console wars kind of looked like when in reality it felt more like a one-sided fight. But that's a previous episode. You can go watch that whole discussion on YouTube, or at least half of the discussion, because we had a technical error. It's fine. You'll see my mouth move, and you'll know I was talking for 30 minutes. Shut up, Jen. Sega is also awesome. You're not on video, so you don't actually get to defend anything here. This is mine. This is Dan's night to retroly recall. So tonight we're going to be talking about specifically the Animaniacs. Now, late in our show, like a few episodes in, we figured out that we actually wanted to theme our months. Sorry, I feel like I have to introduce uh, all of this so that you can understand why I'm here on TikTok now and what we will be doing here from now on. But we introduced themes for our months. So for September, be quiet, Jenny. Sorry, that's unreal. September became Spieltember, a celebration of Steven Spielberg. Uh, why? Well, because the first episode we did in September was Hook, and that was when we decided to theme the months. So Spieltember, this is going to be the last episode of Spieltember. Next month, tune in for Spooky Spookies. I don't think we have a clever name yet, so now it's just Spooky Spookies. Sorry, Jen. Again, I'm on camera, you're not, so I kind of get to make these decisions now. So Spooky Spookies next month. Anyway, so tonight we are going to be talking about Animaniacs, but also about, in general, that era of WB animation where Steven Spielberg essentially kind of crafted a mini universe of his own within the Warner Brothers, just within the concept of Warner Brothers Studio. He made cartoons that served as both entertainment and advertisements for Warner Brothers. And so, really, it is a fascinating topic to kind of dive in on. There should be, and I don't know how to do it, I made a poll. I was going to put it up on the screen, but okay, I'm just going to ask it now. Apparently, I have to record. Of the Animaniacs, this isn't right because it's only giving me two options. Guys, you know what? I'm not good at TikTok yet. I'm figuring it out. And when I do figure it out, um, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Yes, it was a beautiful alliance between WB and Amblin. And it kind of, oh, there it is. There's my poll. It kind of started out of nowhere. Um, it kind of hit out of nowhere. So the first was Tiny Toon Adventures. You can't forget about Tiny Toons. That's where they really broke into this. Now, Tiny Toons was interesting because it was obviously just Looney Tunes, right? Like it was kind of Looney Tunes, but 90s, right? They had that more edge to it, right? Buster Bunny was supposed to kind of be a family-friendly Bart Simpson. So Tiny Toons was a huge hit. I mean, but we're also looking at it from the period of time where this was the same era with Space Jam, right? There was clearly Looney Tunes were having like a decade because this was also the time. And now I don't know how many people had this, but I know that Jen and myself did growing up. But like in our mall, there was a WB store, right? A WB store filled with button-down shirts that had like the Tasmanian Devil on it and like gremlins on the ceiling. Oh, wait! I just got a question. Fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. This is an easy question. Easy question. One horse-sized duck. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight, and I'm not saying that you're going to survive the fight, but you are going to appreciate that death a lot more than you will slowly being taken apart by 100 horses as they trample you. So, um, yes, 100% one horse-sized duck, and you know, pray to whatever you believe in. So back to so WB was having a weird era in this time. Like they were blowing up. You may even remember. Oh, what was the? Was it just WB, the name of the network, where they used the frog as the mascot? And the frog, I forgot the frog's name. If anyone knows it, say it in the chat. But anyway, literally, they were everywhere. I always found it weird, though. Just side note, I found it weird. Tiny Toons was like a huge hit, but like it didn't go anywhere else. They didn't do anything with it. They've never brought that back. They didn't even just like push them into the Looney Tune universe and say like, well, yeah, of course they exist. Like they're just gone. I wonder if maybe there's like a weird contractual thing with Spielberg. I bet there is. Anyway, but while Tiny Toons was a huge hit, really, I think the one that really, like, the one that pierced through the zeitgeist, the one that everyone I knew really got obsessed with, because Tiny Toons was big, but I knew some people who were into it, some who weren't at my age, which I don't want to do the math. Anyway, so oh, you know what? I just realized because it keeps saying like people are joining and it's constantly happening, and I literally just remembered how TikTok works. So like people are literally just scrolling past me. I'm not doing anything exciting. I need to do like spirit fingers up here. Stick around, spirit fingers. Keep. Hey, hey, you swiping? I see you. Do not keep swiping. Don't. No. Hey. Oh, no, 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 no. Kathy, Kathy, stay. I'm doing a podcast. Nope. Dingus, do not leave. Dingus, see, I'm serious. This is a podcast, and I need you guys to stick around. Fancy Nancy, I know you're going to stick around. Fancy Nancy, you are my biggest fan. Okay, I'm not going to do this the whole night because I'm sure by the time I'm actually seeing these names pop up, they've already scrolled right past me. So, Animaniacs. When the Animaniacs hit the scene, I feel like that. Oh, Michigan J Frog, thank you so much. Animaniacs was the just everything, right? I feel like had an opinion about Yakko Wacko Dot. Everyone had an opinion about like the cartoons in between because I feel like Animaniacs had the ability to really play around in a way that Tiny Toons couldn't. Because Tiny Toons was representative of the Looney Tunes, there was a layer of legacy, right? So they couldn't go too far over the line. Though, if anyone remembers Tiny Toons, the movie, where they get to the theme park and then just ride the monorail around once and leave, still, like, that's a core memory for me. That is peak childhood comedy. Um, so, Animaniacs, but yeah, so that got to be a little bit more of a experimental piece for the Amblin team because they got to do skits, they got to do these shorts. Like ultimately, it gave birth to Pinky and the Brain, right? Pinky and the Brain became this cultural staple all on its own. It became something that became like huge just independently, but like it started with the Animaniacs. And I think it's not that necessarily that gets forgotten. I don't think that like Animaniacs is in any way like gone. In fact, they literally got rebooted. But I do think that it was incredibly relevant to our generation, to millennials, um, and didn't necessarily pierce the veil elsewhere. By the way, it's just you and me now, Jen. I'm looking at it. It's just you and me. I'm just talking to you now. How you doing tonight? You doing okay? I should put up a sign above my head that just says like, um, if you stay in the chat and write one thing, I will write your name on an index card and hold it up for clout or something. Yeah, is that a thing? Guys, there is a hurricane hitting Florida right now. I'm not saying that this podcast is for charity because it isn't, but um, stick around. I feel like the problem is I'm like narrating this thing. In reality, I don't have a specific point to talk about. I just love the Animaniacs. Like I just love the Animaniacs. So what I'm going to do while I'm doing this, I am going to try to figure out what else I can do. It looks like I can play music, my dudes. Let's play some gentle tunes for everybody. Ooh, we're going to turn it down. How loud is that, Jen? It's a little too gentle. Yeah, this is more the vibe we needed here. What's the volume like? What are we looking at? Because I could vibe to this all night. Oh, volume's good. Okay, cool. Well, then let's jam. Yeah, there's apparently like a lot of stuff I can do to this, which is weird. Let's see. For you two viewers, I'm just playing around with the TikTok effects right now. I was talking to Animaniacs. If anybody has some Animaniac opinions, always love to hear them. Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, I can hear my own voice. That's a setting I can do. Let's. Oh, you have to use wired headphones for that. Tisk, tisk, tisk. There's stickers. Q&A. Guys, we're in the Q&A section of our live now. You got Q's about Animaniacs in the 90s, and I'm here to answer them. Whatever Q's you've got, I've got the A. I got the A for you. I mean, at this point, really is just literally you and I sitting here, Jen. So, I wish you could talk. You know what? That's what I need to figure out. We're gonna, because I want to make you a host. Yeah. So I can't make you a host because you don't go live. You don't have the followers. Jen, if you see a button at the bottom of this that says like request to join or something like that, that'd be cool. I'm going to invite you to do it again. And I'm going to send it with an emoji with sunglasses on so you can't miss it. I wish I could figure out how to plug my phone in. That was an oversight of mine. We're probably going to die. But I got an eye on it. If I have to cut it a little early, I won't. Yeah, I'm guessing because you don't have 1,000 followers, you're not as cool as me. You're not allowed to podcast yet. I keep inviting you over and over here. Now I'm sending it with prayer hands. And I don't believe in anything. So, like, what am I even doing? Also, you're not sending enough likes. I don't think I'm looking popular. You know what was funny? I wasn't going to wear this hat backwards. I was going to wear this hat like this hat. But for whatever reason, this hat apparently makes me the green screen. Poof. It's like I have magic skills. Oh, I'm going to scare somebody. I'm going to wait. No, because they don't see anybody. They're going to be like, where'd he go? Oh, forward through, hand through. Ha! I was right here the whole time. But I scared you. Yeah, I scared you. You don't have to admit it. I already know. I'm going to figure out a way to charge my phone while I'm doing this. So please hold, everybody. All right, I'm already back. Sort of. Go lower. Yeah, you win the ability to never go live with me. That's what you win. It's not a great prize. You're not going to be satisfied with it. I got to put the hat back. Yeah, for whatever reason, TikTok, I think it's because it's doing like a filter thing on my face. Like, look how young I look. This is the best I've looked ever. That's dangerous. Social media. I mean, I guess we all kind of knew social media was dangerous, but like, I could really see someone forgetting what they really look like by staring at this long enough. But not this guy. This guy owns the wrinkles and the blemishes. That's what happens. You're welcome, young folk. You can't really escape time. Even though time is an illusion, we made it up to make sense of things. What were we talking about? Animaniacs? It's a Q&A on Animaniacs. Q&A on Animaniacs. What do you guys want to know? I'm here to talk it. All about it. Or just 90s, 80s, 2000s. Apparently, I can invite one of my friends to go live with me. Let's see if he's in a live mood. Oh, hello, me. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but welcome. Welcome to Retro Recall Podcast. We're just talking Animaniacs, and by we, I mean I'm talking to myself. So, you know, if you want to hear me rant about something on the Animaniacs universe or WB Amblin Extended Universe, well, boy howdy, have I got a surprise for you. I am excellent at rambling. I am. Oh my God! Well, now it makes much more sense. Hello. Welcome to the Retro Recall Podcast, where normally I'm not just talking to myself. My co-host is not apparently popular enough on TikTok to join me. I don't think you know Jeff, Jen. There's different eras of Friend Universe, separated by time and space. Well, let me catch you guys up to speed then. First, I had to turn my hat backwards because it works as a green screen, which is really cool, but it's just not really fun. That's first thing, very important, but that's why I get to wear my hat backwards. Oh my God, yeah, everybody staying safe over there? You guys are still in Florida, right? Are you staying safe? I feel like it's a little disingenuous that I called this the hurricane special because, like, I'm in Washington. There is no hurricane here, or at least it's not coming yet. But we do have a volcano. But Jen is in Florida, so this is why we are doing it a little weird tonight. Oh, you evacuated? Good. Yeah, it's freaking. I didn't. I always feel like I want to take hurricanes seriously before they hit, right? I want to. But I've been. Jen, you're ridiculous. I've been through so many of them that have been nothing burgers or have like gone off that like I always make jokes beforehand. So like out here, I'm dealing with people who have not really been through hurricanes before. Like I have a lot of different like coworkers who are born and raised in Washington, and they're asking me about like a few days ago, like if I were concerned, if family's safe, if friends are safe. And in my head, the first thing I want to do is joke because like probably, I mean, you don't know, but yeah. And then of course, Most of the time, those jokes go fine, but then there's times like this time where you end up looking like a real a-hole because, like, you're telling people, like, it's fine, and everyone has hurricane parties and they get really drunk together, which they do during the non-actual emergency hurricanes. So, aw, a rose? The belle of the ball. Apparently, I'm really good at talking to myself. What does that say about me? Huh. Anyway, well, again, so my hat is a green screen. That was covered. But we were also talking about specifically, because this is the Retro Recall podcast, which please make sure to subscribe to Retro Recall Podcast at Retro Recall Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I think those are our fancy four. Yeah, so this episode is our last episode of Spieltemper, a celebration of Steven Spielberg. And today we're talking about specifically that era of WB and Amblin making the most boss-ass cartoons that ever existed, where they were just dropping hits like Freakazoid and Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, right? They were hitting us with so many good cartoons, and like it was unwarranted. It was almost violent how good a lot of those were. I don't know, did anyone watch the new Animaniacs though? I started watching it, but it's really hard to actually watch things when you have a toddler. I want Jeff on here now too. I need people saying things in my ears. That's what it is. I miss having those little interactions, because when you're talking to yourself, you just assume you're always hilarious. And I know that's not true. I think they were dogs. Okay, so the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot, just for fun, they run around the Warner studio lot. I think they were dogs, but like not quite. It's almost like they're dogs in the same way that Felix is a cat, right? Felix the cat, like, yeah, the cat is in the name, but that is the most cat-like part of Felix the cat. Everything else is just like a fucking acid trip. So I feel like they are dogs, but they are dogs that are melting on acid. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're dogs. But I do think that most of the characters referred to them as dogs or dog things or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. And I am just a doofus who watched the show a lot and really bought into the marketing. Sorry for the melting dog thing. That's on me. Guys, I work in marketing and I have no idea how to get TikTok to like me. I don't know how to use this app. I don't. Jeff! Ooh, Co. You brought the whole Co with you. My goodness. Jeff, you'll be happy to know that I have, if you check out my website is asherwrote.com. It is not your design anymore, obviously, the business card design, but you'll be happy to know that I have continued to lean into your minimalist influences, because that business card you designed for me is still the absolute best business card I've ever had. In fact, I think I made, hang on. I don't think they're in here, because why would I keep my business cards in my office? Only a fool would do such a thing. I think I made business cards that still kind of looked like it, except I couldn't find the Scout artwork, so I just went with a nice silhouetted hand. Oh, it was delightful. I also don't know what that was. So, I've officially, guys, this is a big celebration right now. So if you have confetti to throw at your phones, please do so. I have officially hit 30 minutes of live streaming, which is the contractual obligation that I had to hit tonight in order for us to have talent representation. So congratulations, we're officially a real TikTok podcast now, Jen. We did it. This is we have we have skirted the line. Bare minimum. No, it's not like so. It's weird the way it works. So, if I because we do this on Twitch normally, that's where we'll stream, or that was our primary, but we're trying to figure out how to co-stream to TikTok because we've got two computers doing this. Might as well have each one pushing to a different platform. But TikTok requires that you get to 1,000 followers before you can go live. I managed to pull that off. I don't know how still, by the way. That just hit over like out of nowhere. And then it requires that you get your live key from these talent agencies that ultimately we're not going into like representation with them. They don't get a cut of anything unless we like really move up with them. But they're the ones who get to choose. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Or they get to choose who gets keys. I can let other people talk? My goodness, hang on a second here. Hang on. Everyone but Jen has figured out how to try to join. I don't know how to let you in. You're on here, but I can't let you in. Okay, well, it said that I had people in the queue, and I tried, but any hoozle. So yeah, now we officially... Jen, I don't know. I don't know how you join and talk. Get good. Maybe Google it. Like, whatever. I can't do everything for you. There is a hurricane hitting you right now, and I am very worried. And it is hard to focus when I am this worried. See, there it was. There it was, me being blasé about it again. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I've just been through so many nothing burger hurricanes that I just want to make jokes about hurricanes. Hurricane Ian is in no way a joke. And I am sorry to anyone who might have scrolled past here in that one instance and heard me joking about hurricanes. So that is the advice I get a lot on Twitch. Get good. Well, to be fair, if anyone has watched Retro Jenny's Twitch, you will often see her getting smashed by a Bowser. Or smashed by a Bowser. Or smashed by Bowser again. So, get good is actually pretty solid advice for you. My personal take. My hot take. Thank you for the likes, Jeff. I feel weird because like I actually know you as a human being, but like I can't see you and all I see is myself. Again, it's actually really surreal. I'm gonna go into my weird brain for a second. I 100% can see why people get addicted to social media. Because literally in this instant right now, I put up a green screen behind myself, so my background looks really like tight around me, which is great. But like also, it is clearly smoothing me out. I have a light on, and when I'm talking, I'm just looking at myself. So like, I have to imagine that people who do this for like hours a day, who are just staring into their own eyes and talking, I have to imagine that really does do something. That's gotta have an effect. Right, handsome? You know it. That was a joke. But I am handsome, so I'm not upset about it. Anyway, To those who were trying to join the chat, if you can try to join again, I know I don't actually know who you are. You were names I've never seen before, but I am happy to talk Animaniacs with anyone who is able to do so. Animaniacs, Freakazoid, whatever you got. It did look like my friend Mad Sith was somebody that I could invite to host with me, but then that went away, and I'm not sure why. But he sent me a rose, so like I'm not upset. That, yeah, I wasn't sure. I never know who goes by their names online, so I try to stick to handles just in case. Just in case. You never know who's got problems with the CIA. I know I don't. No, legitimately, if I did, it would be ridiculous that I'm just use your name. So do I, though, I guess. I mean, granted, I use like, who knows which one of my names? Who knows? Because I also have a Hebrew name. Mystical. Yeah, really, this I feel like all I want to do is like practice my weird faces and voices at myself because it's like I'm looking in a mirror, so I just want to do like my D&D voices to myself. Um, it's really hard to stay focused on Animaniacs and Freakazoid and the WB store and Space Jam. I mean, come on, Space Jam. Granted, Steven Spielberg did not direct Space Jam, which is a pity, but Bill Murray was in it. So you gotta love Bill Murray. I love Bill Murray. Oh, I can't do Animaniac voices. They're so Wacko. Wacko was Ringo. He was always doing that thing, but he wasn't that deep, and that's my problem. When I do Ringo, I go deep. Um, and also, I do a terrible Ringo. I can't do a Liverpudlian accent for the life of me. Um, well, Yakko was supposed to be Groucho Marx, which I can't do a Groucho Marx impression to save my life. I wish I could. My God, I wish I could impersonate Groucho Marx. I feel like that is the sharpest wit. I am not smart enough to pull off a Groucho Marx, and I just don't have that cadence. I don't have that cadence. What I do have that Groucho Marx has is I have the ability to say shitty comments with a grin on, leaving people wondering if I was joking or being insulting. That's the one thing I was able to pick up from him. And I'll take that. That's a good one. And then Dot, I feel like Dot was supposed to be, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. I'm literally blanking on the name. Um, But Dot's voice felt the most generic to me, or not generic in that it wasn't like recognizable. It was very recognizable, but like it wasn't as um, weird. It didn't have the same weird inflections. I feel like where Dot shined was the physical comedy of cartoon world, but there, I've just taken the time to sit and explain to you why I cannot do Animaniac voices. I can't do Freakazoid. Um, I could potentially do Brain. No, I can't do Brain because that's what's his name. Citizen Kane. What's his name? Jen. We have the same film degree. I know you know his name. Orson Welles. My God. Jen, what are you good for? This podcast is supposed to be a team effort. Yeah, Brain is supposed to be Orson Welles, which I can't. His was always weird because I want to go British when I go into that depth for him. I could probably do Pinky, but I couldn't do it quietly. And I am in the room right next door to a sleeping toddler. Um, oh, oh man, hold on. I might be able to get Keep Curious Code to come live with me. Let's see. Hang on. Oh, he's connecting.
Oh boy.
There he is.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a shirt, pants. I've got a YouTube video playing. Hold on. Give me a second here. What are we talking about? I just jumped in. I don't know what's going on.
Literally, it popped up on my screen and told me to invite you. So,
Oh
like, I was
wow.
like,
Okay.
"Yeah, all
That's
right, let's do it."
flattering. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that's
this is our first live podcast. My co-host is
oh
not
cool.
popular enough on TikTok to actually be on live, so I've just been talking to myself. And there's about 20 minutes left. We've been talking about Animaniacs. If you got
Am I
opinions.
am I on video or no?
No, you are not at the
Oh,
moment. You
thank
are. You're.
God.
It's
Okay,
just
good.
your logo.
Okay, good. I'm uh I'm unpresentable.
Well, hey, why don't you introduce Keep Curious Co? Because this will also be on YouTube later. So why don't you
Yeah.
introduce yourself to the fine
Um
folks at home?
cool. I'm Chase. Wow. I'm caught very off guard with this.
It's
I'm
all
I'm
casual. It's
Chase.
all
I'm standing
casual.
in my underwear in my kitchen. I just put a hoodie on though, so the nipples are covered. Yeah, let me see. Can I go on video
I
here
think you
too?
can.
I don't know
Oh,
how to do it.
do I have to like allow you to? I think I have to
Oh,
allow you
there I
to.
am. There I am. Let
Oh,
me
there
get
it
some.
goes. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get some lights in here so I can just pretend
Yeah, where's
everything's
your where's
cool.
your studio set up? Come on, man. Like,
We're doing it right now. Hold on.
for those of you who think I'm
That'll
bluffing when I say that I love this man, uh, I've literally got. Oh man,
There
come
we go.
on, green screen. Pew, pew,
Oh yeah, the stickers arrived. Yeah.
pew, pew. Well, welcome. The other thing you should know about this podcast, this was a contractually obligated TikTok live. I just had to do 30 minutes so that I
Oh,
can get my stream key to use OBS moving forward.
nice.
Yeah. So, also, I like that you went backwards, but you should know my hat's way cooler because it works as a green screen, so I can literally disappear,
My hat's from
which
Ghost Town, set up by Knoxberry Farm. So I think we're tied.
you might win.
I,
Yeah, was that the one that you did the video on?
It's Calico. Yeah,
Yep. Oh
it's
yeah,
back.
did you,
But
that's awesome.
they're shutting it down. I think. I'm not
Really?
sure. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Um,
Man,
Knoxberry Farm's having some problems. So
I'm
uh,
sure they've got name enough. The problem is right now no one wants to invest in leisure.
yeah.
Obviously,
Well, that's
there's
not
there's
in Yermo, California, which is 20 minutes outside Barstow, which nobody wants to go to as it is. It's 100. And believe me, I spent 2 days in Yermo, California. I love it. It's beautiful, but fuck, if there was a place where Trevor from GTA 5 was from, I'm not even. That's where he's from. He was from Yermo, California. That's the type of place you that Yermo is, right? And Yermo is where Calico is. So it makes sense that nobody would want to invest in that. Have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
yes,
From Dusk Till Dawn was shot in Yermo.
really.
The outdoor
Oof.
scene where the bar is, the big titty twister,
Oh yeah.
that's Yermo, California.
Do they still have the sign?
I don't think so. No, it's a big. I fucking recognized it though. Like on my second watch through of Dusk Till Dawn, I was like, hold on a second.
Oh, so
I
you didn't even necessarily find that out as a fun fact. You just recognized
I
it.
looked it up. I looked up the filming location after I'd gone there when I rewatched From Dusk Till. I watch it like once a year. It's one of my favorite movies.
That's
And
me with Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, I
it,
rewatch once a year.
yeah, I wanted to hit where stop running. I forget where is it?
Oh, yeah. Wait, I think he does. He stop in Monument Valley?
I That sounds right, but I'm not sure. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I'd love to go to Monument Valley.
or I would have stopped. But I definitely didn't pass it. But yeah, I would love.
No, that's definitely on my list of like locations I need to go to because that was for those who don't know, for those who didn't waste their money on a film degree, Monument Valley is where John Ford shot the majority of his westerns. He genuinely thought that was the perfect backdrop for everything he made, and so like it is absolutely the iconic look of the American West that everyone associates with that like era now, and because of him. So it's fascinating. Love
Yeah,
Monument Valley.
have to get out there.
Well, you've been to a lot of cool places, though. I have to tell you, I am always jealous of like, because like your concept, the idea for your show is so like, I don't know. Like we Jen and I we sit in chairs in front of a camera and just talk about like 90s shit. Like you actually get out and go.
So,
Like
if you're jealous of that, I'm jealous of me a year ago because that's what I did a year ago. But I had a kid.
true,
I had I
true.
had a kid. You see, I don't know if you can see all the kid stuff on the ground, but I had a child, and yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And when I do, it's not on a 1 month tour across the Western United States, you know.
Yeah.
But it's so I would like to do that again, but it takes a lot more planning, a lot more money. It's a lot of money
Whew.
to do that type of tour, especially with
It-
gas. It's just gas. And you're talking about gas is
yep.
going to be in the thousands. This last trip I did was 3,600 miles in 25 days. And I honestly, I didn't know what I was doing concept wise yet. So, history wise, I didn't capture what I wanted to capture. But it was a very good transition out of my former life of a as a data analyst for a, you know, tech Silicon Valley tech company
Yep.
to a vagabond piece of shit that just tries to scrape by money in the gig economy and make money on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. That's who I am. That's who I am now, and I'm
Dude,
proud.
I mean,
I'm fucking proud of it.
yeah, but you fucking grind it. Like you have always been good at like maintaining like an online presence. Like even in like the previous like Twitch life. Like
Oh
you
man, don't even remind me of Twitch.
different
Turtleneck
era.
life.
I know different era, but like what I mean is like
Yeah.
you have a drive to entertain. I feel like
I
that's
think
what it
really,
is.
yeah. I've been in bands. I've been in on the Twitch scene for a year straight. I had thousands of hours logged Twitch streaming, and now Keep Curious Co. And yeah, I think I have a pull to it.
Yeah,
That I don't understand it. I don't respect it. I think it's a pile of shit, but I do it anyway. And now at least I get to learn things while I do it. Is really the key. And honestly, I want to build up something that when I die at 45, because I'm a pile of shit, that my kid can look back and watch and be like, "Oh yeah, that was my father." You know,
yeah, dude.
if I die early, he's got stuff to look at. You know.
I so like I think this is why you and I have always gotten along because like that's exactly what it is. Like I have no fucking idea what I want to do. Like every time someone's like even at my job they want us to like work on our 5 year plan right now, and anytime someone says things like that, I'm just like I don't know. I don't know what my 1 week plan is.
Yeah. Right.
Like I don't know, but I always feel pulled or drawn towards like not necessarily entertaining but expressing. I'm
Yeah.
always drawn towards like making something. And so like I've been like I really fell into painting, which I'm not good, but like I'm loving it. Like I just
Yeah.
love doing
Fun to
it. And
watch.
yeah, and so this podcast is like another example of that. It's just man, it's an easy fun way to sit and like talk about like how nostalgia warps the perception of what was really like like what the grimy marketers want us to remember from like the cartoons of our childhood. It's not
Yeah.
actually a dark podcast. I just felt like I should go dark. It was really were way more fun than that, but I just felt like I needed some edge there.
No, I've watched a couple of them. I've watched on YouTube.
It's
Um,
official. We've
yeah.
made it. We chase watches. We
I pull them up in a, so I'm on baby duty from like
we got it.
6:37 ish to like 11 until I start working. And so I'll just
Yep.
pull up the podcast and listen to it, have it in the background. And I realize, like, I mean, I've been on baby duty, right? So I haven't listened to anything, and I'll like replay the same thing. So not to
How
tell you that like any of your views are repeats, but I might be one of those that just kind of puts it on again and tries to pay attention. And obviously, I'm on vomit and shit duty for a while.
yeah. Wait, so how old's your kiddo now?
Oh man, July, August, 3 months.
3 months. Oh, okay, you're out of the dark ages though. You're out of potato sack age.
Yeah. No, he has facial expressions and he laughs at
Yep.
things now.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
but
It
that's the
gets
extent of it. And extreme inexplicable screaming. I don't understand
yes.
what the problem. I don't understand what the problem is, man. I coddled you. Mom and dad are both here. You're fully fed. You shit yourself, stupid. Like you're definitely not constipated. What is going on? No idea. No idea. You're just a terrified human being, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay.
Life is
It's
scary.
it's not okay, but it's okay. Life is scary, right? That's why I try to remind myself whenever he's fucking off his rocker, right? I'm just like, yeah, but so am I. So
Yeah.
am I. And I
I've
just
just
want
learned
to
to
scream and
contain it.
shit myself about it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and also, so one of the best things, I think it was one of the pediatricians we went to. One of the best things he said, and I think this is what stuck for me. Uh, he was like, "You got to remember as well. That's also how they express that they're happy at this point. That's
Yeah.
how they express
It's shriek.
everything because they have no idea how to talk yet.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, they probably understand like screaming is loud, but they might be thinking like, well, I am loudly happy. They will
Yeah.
know this about me.
He'll shriek. We'll look over and he'll have the biggest grin on his face.
Yep.
And we're like, the fuck just happened? Like there's like a bee sting you, but then you realize like you really love venom or some shit. Like what
Yeah.
just happened?
Started
And now
tripping instance after.
he's just like, yo, give me attention. I know exactly how to get it. Oh man,
They
I
play
I
you,
hate
man.
myself, and I'm 33 years in, almost 33 years in, and I hate myself. This motherfucker's like in love with himself, and I hope he keeps it because I don't
Yeah.
want him to hate himself, but he probably will. I mean, look
Let
at it,
let
look at his dad. You know,
let me tell you something weird, man. And that like this is coming from another person who hates themselves. That kid is going to make you start loving yourself in a different way. It
yeah,
it it no, it it is the
it's painful.
strangest
This whole
thing.
process is painful.
It's a lot of growth. I have been dealing with a lot of therapy, but I'm sure other parents will agree. It's not that kids fix your problems, but like if you allow yourself to look at yourself through their eyes, you really see yourself differently. Like if you really try to understand who you are to them, you are inexplicably going to like yourself more.
I
If
mean,
you're if you like your kid. If you're shitty to your kid, it's gonna be different. But
I, I can't. I don't understand the mentality of people who are shitty with their kid. I've personally I can't get around it. We spent the first 2 weeks of his life in the NICU, right? Like, and that was dark. It was a is am I gonna wake? Am I gonna like watch my kid die for the first 4 5 days? It was a very much a am I gonna watch my own child die in front of me, my first child? And thankfully he didn't. Obviously, like everything worked out, but it was dark as fuck, man. But then like
yep,
coming out of that, like I was in a NICU, right? So like I heard children die. I heard parents, or I saw children that whose parents were not there at all. They just weren't there, and then codes where people were like, I know this is a retro recall podcast, I'm so sorry. Taking this
You're
in a
fine.
real direction.
Dude, we got 5 more minutes before we're going off here. So like,
I'll wrap this up.
no, no,
Some
no. Let's go out
parents
strong. Let's
don't
go
give a
infant mortality, people.
shit. Some parents don't give a shit about their children, like freshly after birth, and it's really, really dark. It's hard to grapple with, but at the end of the day, like it's like after that experience, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a pretty good dad, right? But part of the reason I left my previous job at like a tech company, I was making great money at a tech company. I fucking quit. I fucking quit because I did not want to be that dude. I didn't want to be that person to my own son, who wasn't even born yet. And my wife wasn't even pregnant yet. We had gotten pregnant before. We had a miscarriage, and that really opened my eyes. I was like, I don't want to be that person, right? I want to be engaged in things that are interesting, that are fun, and I can create content that he can digest and he can build with me at a later age, rather than be some fucking data analyst and shill for a fucking fintech company making, $100,000 a year, cushy as fuck. Like, no. So
Yeah.
now I make $2,000 a month if I'm lucky, doing Uber Eats and DoorDash while I make make videos for based on all these fucking books.
Oh my God.
Like just like trying to like digest those and make them into videos.
Damn, dude. Yeah, but
What a
like,
trip, and what a fucking trip it is.
what? Like, it's so it's so interesting. Like the weird paths we all end up kind of going down. Because like, I don't know if you feel this way, but like I still feel like I'm the same 18-year-old asshole, right? Like I still feel like I'm all of the Dans that came before me, right? Like it's
Yeah,
like the Avatar state. Like I look to my left and there's every shitty version of myself that I've been.
yeah,
Um, but like it's almost like all of those little moments, like they pushed me in a direction where I'm now in a completely different place. I mean, I moved to Washington to move to like work with a tech shill company, right? Like it was, I won't say great pay, it was okay pay, but they paid for us to move to Washington,
yeah,
man. Like they paid for us to move there. They gave us the money to get on our feet out there, and so like that was great. Um, but then like man, when the pandemic hit, we're really going to close up on some downers, guys. Here we go. The last 2 minutes. When the pandemic hit, my son was born literally the month after. So like March, everything shut down. My son was born April.
yeah,
Um, like I didn't even know. We didn't know if I was going to be able to even join her in the delivery room because it was
yeah,
so unclear at the time what it was going to be.
yeah.
Luckily, I did. We got to do it. It was fine, but I got to see, and I'm not gonna name and shame the company. I'm sure I signed something that says I can't. I don't know, but
It probably.
um, probably. Um, but like literally, I saw how little I mattered as a human being at that moment because like I came back from my paternity leave. And I clearly all the knowledge of cloud architecture that I had picked up was gone because I had just spent like 2 months with like shit and puke all over myself, right? Like anything that was intelligent was gone. All I knew was like SAS still existed, unfortunately. Um, but like I came back and I really wanted to make this concerted effort to get up and running again. And it's almost like it's like they wanted me to burn out. They wanted because I was at home, the expectation was you are going to just you have to constantly go.
Yeah,
You guys aren't coming to the office, so like we need you guys like
yeah.
manning
You're
these
home.
phones
You don't have.
constantly.
You're at your desk all the time.
Yep. And
Yeah,
like that became the expectation there. Like, yes, part of it is I had that old retail mentality of the like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Like that's my own shit. But like
hmm,
there was this feeling that like if you want to succeed, you stay at your desk and keep going.
Yeah.
Um, and like I was in the worst place I have ever been mentally, the absolute lowest low. Um, and man, like I'm not saying that like I turned it around quickly, but like where I'm at now, I've been doing marketing consulting with like a small company. It's not like a big corporation. There's like 19 people. It's fucking great. It's great
And it's
because
good.
I'm
Like,
I'm a human there,
yeah,
and
that's
like
what matters.
that's
You know,
it.
I mean, when I was with Robinhood, I was the only real time analyst in the whole company. The only analyst for CX. Um,
What
yeah, the only.
one
I was the single analyst, and so
for customer experience?
Yeah, so I reported to the C-suite. I reported to Vlad, the CEO. I reported to Gretchen Howard, the COO. But then we got a VP, and I won't go down my whole path, but basically it became so incredibly toxic. I was being woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and if I didn't respond by 5 a.m. on a Sunday, I was basically in trouble. And it was never trouble. I was never in trouble, but it was a clear expectation that I was to be awake when they wanted me to be
Yep,
awake. And we're talking 24/7. And so then there was a suicide that happened, a high profile suicide that
yep.
I was like, according to the company, somewhat directly responsible for. And it became like this whole thing of like, well, Chase isn't responsible, but ultimately this dude wouldn't have killed himself if people had responded to him quickly enough. And so if people had
What?
responded, yeah, so I was responsible. This dude killed himself, and it was my fault in a way. It wasn't my fault, to be clear.
No,
Um,
of course not.
yeah,
For legal
I don't
purposes
feel
in a court of
for legal
law.
purposes, for even psychologically, I don't feel responsible for his death.
Good.
Um, but yeah, a dude killed himself, and that was a huge turning moment where like nobody blamed me in the company. Nobody, like it wasn't, and it wasn't my fault, right? I wasn't given the resources. I was trying to handle a six or at that point a 800-ish person team to handle unprecedented amount of volume, right? And I'm just a traffic director. I'm an air traffic controller, basically. But all that to say, like, that was a moment where I was like, that's way too much pressure to put on one human being. And a
One
dude
person.
committed suicide, and we're all talking about damage control. A motherfucker just committed suicide because your app displayed the wrong balance for him over the weekend, and we didn't respond to his support tickets in time. He kills himself by jumping in front of a train, and now it's my fault because we didn't respond in time, and it's the product team's fault because they didn't display his correct balance. Fuck all of you. I don't want. I want to have a child at some point. We weren't even pregnant by this point. I want to have a child at some point. Like that was another moment that I was like, yo, uh, I would rather be like, I would scrape dirt off the sidewalk and try to sell it on the corner before I would tell my son I worked for this company. You know,
Yeah.
like, and so I can't take another job. I am unemployable by my own admission at this point. Um, also a lot of places drug tests. So,
Move to Washington. It becomes a lot easier.
oh, yo, I'm in Colorado right now. It's pretty
Oh,
easy.
that's right. That's
Yeah, but they
right.
still
Wait a minute.
drug test though, which is really like annoying. It's
That's
like,
weird, especially in Colorado, because like you
yeah,
guys got more legal.
yeah, right. We were legal first, or one of the first legal, not legal first,
Yeah, I think
2013.
what Massachusetts was first.
I
No,
think
not
it,
Massachusetts.
California was first, 2008.
No, you know what? I think
DC
technically
was early.
Washington was first to decriminalize
Okay.
marijuana. I think that was the first step because I remember anyway, you know what? We have gone down some weird rabbit holes.
Yes.
But I do have to retire at this moment, so this
Okay.
is going to be the end. This was a really weird retro recall podcast. For those of you,
Very
real
weird.
quick, sorry, Chase, I'm going to give you another moment because I want to say something else to you. But let me go
Yeah.
through my tags real fast because, grind, 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 my dude. Right above my head, Retro Recall Podcast. That's at Retro Recall Podcast on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch, on, I don't know, probably Twitter. Jen, make a Twitter now. Instagram, definitely on there. Just, you know what? Bing it, Google it, or whatever the kids are using. Ecosia, plant a tree somewhere. You're going to find us every Thursday when there isn't a hurricane hitting. You can find us on Twitch and TikTok because now I have done my contractually obligated 30-minute live, and it went an hour anyway. So yeah, I'll be able to. We'll be co-streaming on TikTok and Twitch moving forward. So make sure that you follow so that you don't miss a stream. But it's okay if you do, because like Twitch or like Chase just said, you can always catch us on YouTube. And if you get distracted, you can go back. And if you get distracted again, you can go back and you're going to be fine. Anyway, plugs out of the way. Chase, first, thank you for coming in. I need to just say, I love you as a human being. Just like as a person, I think you are like one of the coolest dudes. And
This is very.
you,
Whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be incredibly mutual. Just throw it back at your
yeah, there's
before you. It's going to go right back at you.
it's a mutual love here. Like I've always felt it. It flows freely. Um, Even though like you legitimately have some of the weirdest shit in your life. Like the weirdest shit happens to you. You like the story you just told. I need you to know literally blew my mind because I know the high profile side, and like none of it. That anyway,
Yeah,
but all of this to say, I have zero doubts that wherever you're landing is gonna be good because, like, man, you have yet to put out content or make something that has not been one of my favorites. So thank you, like, just thank you for being you and for coming on tonight, even though I kind of bombarded you when you were just walking around naked.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I was pretty much buck naked in my living room. We just put the kid down to sleep in the bedroom, and yeah, this was
Yeah.
honestly, this is the first moment I've actually considered. How did I get here? How did this? I don't know what just happened. I'm like eight
Yeah,
deep right now. I don't know what's going on.
you literally just flew right into this. Like you came right in, and that is the sign of like a multitasking dad right there. Like you are ready for anything.
I will take it.
All right, well, on that note, again, Chase, thank you everybody for watching Retro Recall Podcast. We love you, but not really because we don't like people. Thank you. Is that a good sign off? Is that good?
That perfect. That's,
Yeah, okay, good. I'm gonna play some music here and just take this all down. So if you guys want to stick around and listen to some jazz,
let's do it.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Not fear
Good
as
night,
well.
everyone. I
Thanks,
don't
guys.
know if I have to like kick you, but like,
I
yeah,
don't know how this works. I have no idea.
yeah.
I've never done it before.
I should have looked up something before starting this.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna hit a button, and if I disappear, bye. All right, let's
Bye.
see.
Let's see. Here we go. All right, he disappeared again. Thank you all for jumping in. Jen, you still there, Jen? You you better still be there, Jen, because like you are a co-host. I think my co-host left. Son of a gun. Well, on that note, enjoy some jazz, everybody. I'm going to turn it up and let everyone jam for a little bit. You're still here. Good, good. Was the retro recalled? Was the past remembered? Or is it too late? I fear we may have been